So if ever you miss, keep that in mind. Okay. I'm trying to see here. It says it's recording. Okay, there it is. It is recording. Okay, good. Okay, so welcome everyone. I'm glad everyone could make it tonight. So tonight, this is going to be, I personally think, is going to be a very fun class for all of us. Because oftentimes we know that we need things. Maybe we need sleep support. Maybe we need help with our gut or anxiety or whatever. And we may even have supplements. In particular, I know if I walk over there right now, I've got Young Living supplements. But sometimes we're like, and I've had girls call me, okay, Kim, I have these supplements. I don't know what to take. I don't want to take 50 supplements, and no one should, by the way. That's way too many. But where do I start so that I'm not overwhelmed? And so that's really what this class tonight is geared toward, helping us figure out, by answering these questions, where our body is at and where we may need to start with essential oils. So the majority of you, I know Donna mentions a few of you didn't, but the majority of you got your little thing from Donna, right? So the next question is, did most of you answer those questions and fill out your boxes? Okay, good. Okay, so I'm just going to read the questions anyway, so that for those who didn't have this ahead of time, by the way, we can always send this to you afterwards, and then you'll be able to see everything that we've done, and you'll be able to do it yourself. So the question number 1 was, are you overly stressed, or do you get anxious often? Okay, so if the answer is yes, then you would have picked up your little blocks page, and then you would have put a number 1 by Kidzyme Unwind, CBD, Super B, and Super Vitamin D. So if you felt you were a person who deals with a lot of stress and anxiety, that's what you would have put. Number 2. Oh, by the way, I'm not mentioning all the secondary. As you all saw on your paper that Donna gave you, there also was a bunch of secondary, which is good to do, by the way. I ended up doing it both ways. I did primary, and then I went back and added the secondary supplements. Okay, number 2, do you get sad often? Or do you have emotional extremes daily? Okay, I think that's the key word on that one. This said daily. Do you deal with these spikes in your emotions like that daily? If the answer is yes, then there were 4 supplements that you would want to put a number 2 in the box. Super B, Super Vitamin D, Kidscent Mighty Pro, and Omega Gize. Number 3, I thought this was one a lot of people would pick yes to. Do you need more energy during the day? Because I feel like I need a little more energy to get through the day. So if the answer was yes, then your boxes that you would mark would be Ningxia Red, Super B, Young Living Vitality Drops, and Ningxia Nitro. There you go. Donna is holding up that list there, so that's really good. So number 4, again, another one I thought a lot of us may pick yes to because we're all aging. Are you wanting to have smoother skin and less wrinkles? If the answer is yes, then the boxes you would have marked would have been Illuminize, Sulfurzyme, Ningxia Red, and Super C Chewables. Number 5, would you like better gut health? If the answer is yes, there were 3 of them you would have marked: Life 9, Kidscent Mighty Pro, and Essential Zyme 4. Number 6, do you want healthier hair? Then there were 5 you would have marked: Illuminize, Sulfurzyme, Super B, Super C Chewables, and Super Cow Plus. Number 7, do you want a stronger immune system? If the answer is yes, Ningxia Red, Golden Turmeric, Inner Defense, ImmuPro, and Super C Chewables. Number 8, Again, another one, especially with us all aging. Do you have painful or achy joints? If the answer is yes, Agiles, golden turmeric, sulfurzyme, BLM, and CBD. Number 9, do you need help falling asleep? 2 of them, Imupro and Kidsent Unwind. And number 10, do you need to reduce your body weight? Sleek Shake, Sleek Citrus Slim, Super B, ICP Daily, Essential Zyme 4, and Life 9. Now, I know I just ran through that really, really quickly, but most of you would have had a chance and you've already marked your box. So then your box, when I hold this paper up, I know it's hard to see my numbers, but you can see some boxes only have 1 or 2. Some boxes, like on Essential Zyme 4, I've got 5 boxes marked. So what you want to do is look down at your paper with your boxes that are marked and look and see which supplement has the most boxes marked.
Oh, I did it wrong. I need a new paper, Donna.
Okay. So the purpose of that is that's going to give you an idea then overall what supplement or supplements that you want to consider taking, because that meant of all of your yeses, that supplement fit more of those yeses. Okay. So let me give you an example. On mine, I only had BLM for 1 box, just 1 box. Not that there's nothing wrong with me taking BLM, but it's only in 1 box. However, I had 6 boxes for Ningxia Red and Super Vitamin D. Of course, I did the primary and secondary. I did the whole thing. But you see what it's saying? It's saying, Kim, if you want to cover more of those boxes where you said you needed help or support, then it would be recommended that I take my Ningxia Red daily and that I take my Super Vitamin D. So does that make sense to everyone? Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone want to share? And this way we're going to talk about some of these supplements. Anyone want to share what their, they don't have to say what they said yes to, but what their number 1 supplement they had the most boxes of? And let's talk about that supplement a minute.
I know.
No one? Well, let's talk about mine then.
Can you see?
Yeah, there's some hands going up.
Oh, I can't see hands. So Donna.
Oh, sorry. So, Mary?
Uh-huh. Yeah. Can you
I
hear
don't-
me?
Yes.
Me?
Is there another Mary?
Mary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ninja Red came up for most of mine, and the Nitro.
Okay. Ningxia Red came up for most of mine too. So I think most of us probably know a lot of reasons why we would take Ningxia Red, but let's just go over it a minute. To me, if you watch any of my videos and stuff I do on social media, I tell you a lot of times anymore, I call Ningxia Red my liquid multivitamin. Simple, to the point. To me, that's what Ningxia Red is, because it supports your skin, your eye health, which may surprise a lot of people, but it's very good for your eyes. It supports your heart, your immune system, your overall health and wellness. Ningxia Red covers, mainly because of wolfberry, which is what the main ingredient of Ningxia Red is that wolfberry, where they use, it's called wolfberry is a superfruit, right? It's very high in antioxidants, and they use the whole fruit and puree it. So you're getting everything, the skin and everything when we drink that Ningxia Red, and yet we don't feel that skin or anything. Plus then they have added other juices to it, some concentrated juices like, let me think a minute. Oh, blueberry, plum, cherry, pomegranate, to name a few, because those again are high antioxidants. And then we also have a few essential oils also within it. We have orange essential oil, yuzu, tangerine, lemon. So Ningxia Red is something that if you've been with Young Living very long at all, you know, we always mention, really, it's something everyone should take. But this, if it came up on your thing and it's your most boxes, it's definitely something that you would want to consider. If you're not taking it, start taking. Most of us take 1 to 2 ounces a day, depending on your budget. Some people, if they're rather healthy, may just try to stick to 1 ounce a day. But a lot of people will get the packets and it's a 2 ounce, so they drink the whole thing, okay? So whichever you prefer, but it just shows you, you don't need a lot. You don't need a lot, 1 to 2 ounces a day. If I'm feeling below the wellness line, then I definitely make sure I take 2 ounces a day. Other than that, 1 ounce is fine.
Okay. Isabel also had her hand up.
Okay.
Mine was super B.
Super B. Okay. That one, I have to tell you, that one came up a lot on mine too. When I just did the primary that I went over with you all, Super B was my #1 until I added the secondary. So Super B, typically the first thing I think of when I think of Super B is support with energy, my energy level. But let me tell you, it actually supports a lot of things. And I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm just going to give you an idea, because there are a lot of all 8 B vitamins are within Super B. So B1 would help support the nervous system, your cardiovascular system. It even helps break down fats and proteins. It converts carbohydrates into energy, into glucose to give you energy. And that's one reason why we think of Super B and energy. Riboflavin is your B2 vitamin, and it helps break down proteins and fats and carbohydrates to produce energy. There it is again. It's also very anti-inflammatory. So maybe if we deal with inflammation of any type, then Super B may be one we want to consider. B3 is good to help lower cholesterol. It's also good to help increase just the function in general of your brain. And come on, we all know as we age, we do tend to get a little more foggy and forget things and things like that, right? Seems like our brain doesn't kick in as fast. So Super B is a good one. Also, B3 is known to help with mood swings. So if we find we tend to be a little moody, or maybe even just at certain times of the month we're moody, then we may want to consider Super B. B5 is very good for healthy metabolism. Also, again, it converts food into energy. B6 is good for your emotions. It also, as it says, again, helps the brain with brain function, just to be able to, what's the word, cognitive, your cognitive function, just to keep that brain working and moving. But also it's good at helping support the heart. You know, one of the #1 things in this country is heart disease. And so B6 has been shown to help support the heart, to help try to prevent things like that. B7 is good, again, for energy. Also, it's very good for your hair and your skin and your nails, okay? And then the next one, there's 2 more. B9, that one's good for just your overall DNA. So your overall body, your whole just functioning in general, B9 is good for. It's also good to help with iron deficiency. And that hits a lot of us. I don't know about you all, but I'm always borderline on my iron. So Super B is good for that. And then the last B within Super B is B12, and that one is very good for helping your red blood cells, also your brain health, your eye health, and your skin health, along with the cardiovascular. So you see what I'm saying? It's one supplement loaded with B vitamins. And there's hardly nothing that I mentioned there that probably each of us didn't at least have one thing. Oh, well, maybe I should consider Super B because it helps my eyes or my brain or my energy or my heart and so on. So Super B is a well-rounded good one. Plus it has essential oils in it too, such as nutmeg, which is also very good for your energy level. So thank you, Isabel, for sharing that one, because Super B is one that a lot of Young Living members take Super B, even if they don't take anything else, they take Super B. Okay, anyone have another one?
I do.
Okay,
I have a crazy one. I thought it was odd.
okay.
Mine came up with Kids Sense Mighty Pro.
Oh, okay. So immediately when I think of Mighty Pro, it makes me automatically think just like with Life 9. Mighty Pro is your pre and probiotic. So again, ironically, that's something that even though it wasn't my main one, it's something most people try to take regularly, whether they take it as the Kids Scent Mighty Pro or Life 9. Why? Because we have to have good bacteria in our gut if we want to function properly. When we don't, if the bad bacteria overrides the good bacteria, then our immune system is going to plummet. It is going to plummet and things are going to start happening. Now, it doesn't mean that we totally wipe out bad bacteria, by the way, because there's a certain amount of that even though we call it bad, your body needs a certain amount of that. But it's when it becomes the number one thing in your body just can't function. The liver can't keep up with getting rid of the junk. So that's where the pre and probiotics come in. I wanted to read a little bit about it too. Young Living specifically says about Mighty Pro, it's a synergistic blend of pre and probiotics. And even though it is touted for children, I have to tell you, there's a lot of us adults that take it. Because for me, I was talking to Donna about this the other day, so that's funny. It came up on her. Life 9 times out of 10, I forget to take it at night. And that's when it's recommended that you take Life 9, specifically at night. But Mighty Pro does not have to be at night. It can be at any time. It is recommended that really you take it around the time you're eating. It's better to take with food. But I can take it at any point during the day. And that's so much easier for me to remember than I get lazy, I guess. I get in bed at night, I'm about ready to fall asleep, and I realize I didn't take my Life 9. You know what? I don't want to get out of my comfy bed, go into the kitchen, open the refrigerator, and get the Life 9. I don't want to do it. So Mighty Pro for a lot of people is a much better option. Some of the things that those pre and probiotics are good for is to support your digestive, your immune system. It's also got anti-inflammatory properties in it, some of those probiotics within it. It supports gastrointestinal functions, infections, I mean. It helps break down lactose, which is interesting. It's that's the other part of it. A healthy gut, and then again, the immune system. So the number one thing when you look at all the different pre and probiotics, especially the pro, it has a lot to do with the immune system and the gut. So that's a good one. And by the way, I don't have it here with me, but you know what pixie sticks are like, right? That's sort of what Mighty Pro is like. It tastes like candy. It truly does. It's one that's easy for me to just open the top and take it just like you were a little kid, just like it was candy. I don't mind the flavor at all. And most people that I talk to don't mind it at all. The other one that's similar to that Young Living has, it's a little more, but the Kids Mighty Pro, I think tastes like candy. So it's easy to take. So that's a good one. Okay, anyone else have one?
I have a question about why is it recommend the chewable vitamin C? Because I take the vitamin C, but not the chewable.
Do you know what? I thought that was interesting, Diane, because when I was doing that, I had on mine Super C Chewable came up in 3 of my boxes. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. Why the difference? And that's such a good question. And you know what? I would have to sit here and read about Super C and Super C chewables as to why the difference. So I'm not going to be able to answer that today, but I tell you what,
Okay.
I'm going to make myself a note so that when we meet next Friday, I can at least tell you I can notice what are some of the differences as to why that may be, because I thought that was interesting. Because on my boxes, I had no Super C show up at all, only Super C chewable. And I was like, So we'll see. Why the difference? Why would they recommend that over the other? Because I truly do not know on that one. Diane always has.
I do know, I can tell you right now.
Okay.
I'm looking in my reference book. It says Super C tablets is a buffered C that differs from the chewables in that they contain rutin flour, bud powder. Rutin flour, bud powder. That's hard to say. Cayenne fruit powder, orange peel oil, tangerine rind oil, grapefruit oil, lemongrass oil. The tablets do not contain the whole fruit powders of orange, lime, tangerine, grapefruit, and camu that are found in the chewables. So there's just slight differences. The tablets have the oils, the chewables have the whole fruit powder.
Okay. And I was just looking down at my numbers to see which ones I have Super C for. And mine is number 4, which was facial wrinkles. And so Jen O'Sullivan in her little book here that we got with this tells us that the reason why they have Super C there under facial wrinkles is to use at night for skin regeneration support. So there's something in it that's good for helping regenerate the skin. Okay. The next one I have Super C chewable is
Kimberly.
Yeah.
There's nothing more you have to say.
Okay. Okay, good.
Wrinkles says it all.
I love it. Thank you, Diane.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Okay. Next one. Who's got the next? Oh, yeah, go for it, Charlene. I can see Charlene on my screen.
I had my runners up. I had 3 with the 4, and one of them was that Essential Zymes 4.
Okay. That one came up on mine too. It wasn't, I'm like you, it was a runner up. It wasn't the number 1. Essential Zyme 4 is an enzyme. And as many of you know, we talk about enzymes a lot because it helps support, enzymes help break things down, our digestion, our food and everything like that, and pull out the nutrient or help our body absorb the nutrients, pull the nutrients out of the food and absorb it. And that's important because as we all know, we don't even have to get scientific. We know food is not as nutritious today as it was 20 years ago because an orange does not taste like it did 20 years ago in general. Every now and then you're going to get a really good one, but that's why we need those essential zymes because it's trying to pull out as many nutrients as it can out of the food we eat. And by doing that, it makes we get a higher degree of antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. And as we all know, the more we get that, the better our overall health and wellness is. So that's what it does. It really helps the digestion. Ironically, though, when you read about Essential Zyme 4, it's also very good to support the brain. So I don't know where yours came up on Essential Zyme 4, but the brain and being alert, I don't know, it seems like we all deal with a little bit of brain fog as we get older. And I forget which question I mentioned that in. Which one was that? I don't remember which one I said that in. But yeah, so that's the other reason for Essential Zyme 4, because it's very good for the brain and helping us be more alert and so on. So Essential Zyme 4 will break down all kinds of things from starches to carbohydrates to proteins to fats to grains. I won't go through all of the different enzymes in it, but it's very good about breaking those down so that we absorb more. So I hope that helps answer your question. By the way, Essential Zyme 4, just as a side note for anyone that needs to know, it does contain bee products because sometimes people ask that right away. It's not a vegan product at all, and it is best taken with food. So just so you know. And it comes in it's a 2 capsule packet. I like that one of all of the enzymes that Young Living offers because I have 4 different ones. That one's my favorite. Again, because if my brain forgets to take it an hour before I eat, no problem. This one's best to take while you eat. Because if you're like most of us, you get busy cooking your breakfast or your supper or whatever, and you're like, oh, I forgot to take it. No worries. If you've got Essential Zyme 4, I can take it with my meal. So I don't have to worry about, oh, I missed it, you know. Okay, anyone else having one they want to mention?
I don't see anybody.
Okay, Donna, what was the one that me and you talked about the other day? And you wanted to mention something to do with methylated.
Oh, our B vitamins. So some
Okay.
people just take a B over the counter. I call it over the counter B vitamin from the store or something. And if it's not methylated, that can be a problem. Methylation, we kind of looked it up because I knew our Bs were methylated, but I didn't understand why. And it helps vitamins in the methyl group, I'm reading it, groups, help provide energy, balance hormones, limit homocysteine levels, help alleviate a cloudy mind and depression. Methylated vitamins get into your system better. Otherwise, you know, some vitamins we take them in, and guess where they go? You see them going down into the sewer. And we want the most vitamins to stay in our system. So these methylated Bs are real important to take. I had another person that she's in a different company that also does supplements, and she said, "Oh, are your vitamins methylated? Are your Bs methylated?" I said, "Yes, they are." So if people in the know that thing.
Yeah, that is such a good point. I like that when you shared that the other day. I'm like, I didn't realize that.
I do have a quick question. So, because both with the B and the D, my doctor told me to take a certain amount of it a day. And so, like B, I take 2,500, whatever it is, the methylated ones. And then D, I take like 1,000 or whatever. So, like, are these equivalent to that? Like, that was my only question. If I'm supposed to be taking a certain dosage of amount of them, how does that compare to the Young Living ones?
There is a way on your Super D bottle. It will tell you how many grams or whatever, like what you're talking about, is in each tablet. So yes, so that you can do the equivalent. I'm sure it's that way on the Super B as well. I know for a fact on the
I can take a screenshot, and I'm not sure on my bottle because my bottle's over there, but in my book it tells me how much percentage, daily value percentage, is in each of each B is in the Super B, and the milligrams. So you can always take that to your doctor and say, "What do you think? Do you think this is good?" Because my husband Ray was going to take a prescription D. The doctor said, "Take the prescription D," and he said, "Don't you guys have a D?" And I said, "Yes, we do," and he hasn't had a problem. He takes, I think 2 or 3 chewable. They're chewable. Takes them, and his D levels have been fine. So he didn't have to take that other stuff. He's taken a vegan form, and I'm happy with that.
Charlene, on your D, does your dosage go by IU? I forget what that stands for. 1,000.
Because I take 1,000 IU, but she also told me to take it with K. So mine has a K in it also.
Okay. So Young Living Super Vitamin D is 1,000 IU per tablet. Per tablet is how much is in it. And here's an interesting question. Because some people would say, why doesn't, because there are vitamin Ds that do come with the K. And so a common question about Young Living is, why doesn't it have K within it? And that's actually in my supplement book. The question came up, and it says many do combine these for specific bone health reasons. Young Living wanted to provide a clean vitamin D. This allows people who are taking other vitamins to make sure their regimen works more specifically. So if you need bone support, you can easily combine Super D. Oh, wait a minute. Well, it does say that though. Super D with K, magnesium and calcium by using cardiogize. Okay, yeah. So in Young Living's idea then is super vitamin D is specifically for those who need vitamin D. If you need the K, then you would either want to add cardiogize or super cal plus. Either one of those covers the K. So just in case anyone asks that. But yeah, each tablet is 1,000 IU. That's I wanted to talk about super vitamin D a minute because that one came up on me. So I was looking at, it was one of my runner-ups. So some of the reasons why super vitamin D is in all of these. For instance, if it comes up under weight reduction, and under that one, the D3 is good for mood support and also to help decrease body fat. Super vitamin D also came up under the question about joint health. And that's because vitamin D supports muscles and joints. It also comes up under immune health because it supports your respiratory and your overall immune system. It came up under the question about hair because super vitamin D helps strengthen your hair. So if you maybe deal with brittle hair easily, breaks easily, then that may be one that you would want. But that's why it came up under that one. And then it also comes up under depression. Again, that goes back to the mood. And it also comes up under the energy. So super vitamin D actually comes up under quite a few of the questions there. So a lot of you may have it at least as a runner-up, if not the number one.
Kim, Cindy has a question.
Okay, yes.
I don't really have a question. I have a comment on the Super D. The other issue is there are some people that can't take the vitamin K because they're on blood thinners and that would counteract their blood thinners. So it's really nice having, for some of us, it's nice having it that it doesn't have that in there.
Thank you for sharing that because I did not know that. I know every now and then blood thinners is mentioned here in our class, and I don't know enough about any of these to know that. I do know, though, that I was going to read this before we got off. There was a couple of words of caution that Jen O'Sullivan had put out, and here they are. This is interesting. Some people will be like, oh, no. Do not take natural supplements at the same, are you ready? I know some of this, we're going to get you all. At the same time as your coffee or highly caffeinated drinks.
I saw that.
Okay? It's not recommended. Doing so blocks the absorption of a lot of the vitamins and minerals as to why you're taking it in the first place. So I know that's hard to take, but it's the same with your pharmaceuticals. And she mentions that if you're on pharmaceuticals, despite the fact that the pharmacist may never tell you, you should not take it with your daily morning coffee or heaven forbid with a Pepsi or a Mountain Dew or anything like that. You should not take it at the same time because it could interfere. At the same time, it's not even recommended that you take natural supplements with your prescription.
Right.
Did you know that? I'm not saying that you can't, but
I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. I take levothyroxine and I cannot, I read up on it and you should not take your vitamins, like any natural supplements, within 4 hours. So it's hard for me to remember to take my supplements at noon. So a lot of times I'll just take them in the evening because I can remember at dinner time. So my schedule with my supplements is upside down. Yeah. Because the levothyroxine, so do your research, talk to your doctors too. If you're taking some pharmaceuticals, when can you take these other things?
Yeah. And your pharmacist would be another one. I know they don't generally tell us, but if we ask, most pharmacists are very good about listening to us and so on. But yeah, because the liver may not process your medications as well if you take it with other things. And if you're on a medication, you're on it for a reason. So you don't want to interfere with that at all. And so like Donna said, she specifically mentions give a 4-hour buffer. If at all possible, give a 4-hour buffer in between. And if you're on a blood thinner regimen from your doctor, then pay extra attention to which supplements you should avoid. So Cindy, thank you for sharing that It's good for people on that. Most of the time, it's just the opposite in this class. We hear, oh, I can't take that because I'm on blood thinner. But now we know you can take your super vitamin D if you're on blood thinner because K is not in it. So good to know. Yes, Diane.
Oh, I didn't know you'd see my hand. I don't know if you've addressed this and I didn't hear, but like if I have, for Super B, I have it 4 times. Does that mean take 4?
No. The whole point of that being on there was to show us so that we could look down and see out of all those 10 questions we answered, this gives us an idea because we can't take all of these, but which ones, based on how you answered the question, does your body will get multiple uses from taking? Okay.
Thank you.
My
Thank you.
red, I'm going to get multiple uses because it fit into 6 of mine. Or sulfurzyme fit into 4 different questions. So I know if I'm taking that, I may be helping my joints, but obviously I'm helping something else. I'll give you an example of something I learned this week because of preparing for this class. When I think of Young Living's Illuminize, I automatically think of eyes because that's specifically why it was designed, was because so many of us deal with computers anymore and phone and blue light, we're in front of the screen a lot. So that one was specifically designed to help support our eyesight. So we don't lose our eyesight as quickly, you know what I mean? To give it that extra boost. However, the interesting thing about Illuminize is it has a lot of vitamin A and vitamin E in it, which are very good for the eyes. But guess what else they're very good for? Your skin elasticity. So that's why when you looked at the questions, when I read them under facial wrinkles, the #1 supplement, if you're worried about facial wrinkles, and because she put them in the order of importance of based on what the question was. So the #1 supplement you can take for facial wrinkles is Illuminize because of the amount of vitamin A and E in it. But at the same time, if I'm taking it for that reason, I'm also supporting my eyes. And so that's why this was designed this way, to give you an idea. Sometimes when we think of a supplement, we think specifically like that one for your eyes, when really it's really great for your skin too. And so doing it this way, you get a more rounded idea of why it would be beneficial for you to take the supplement that you have more blocks checked. Does that make sense to everyone? Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. And the thing is, once you've got those questions from Donna and you've got one of these boxes, of course, now it's filled up, but we can always email you another so you can print off another. But I would always keep one of these, print off 2. So you always have a master copy, because this is something that you can retake. Let's say you look down at this and you're like, okay, I did this with Kim and Donna. So in May, I've already, this month's gone, right? Tomorrow's the last. So in May on my order, I'm going to make sure I order my Ningxia Red. And since my other one that tied with Ningxia Red was Super Vitamin D. So it comes in, take it a full month, at least 1 month, maybe 2, and retake this test, because maybe by that point, you notice an improvement. So you don't want to put my anxiety levels off the charts. It's improved a lot. Whatever the question is, then you may concentrate on other supplements. So this is a handy little test. And this is just a shortened form. This is a short form. Donna, do you remember how many questions the long form is?
There was a lot
Is it 60 something?
I think something. Yeah, something like that.
That's a paid one that you have to do. But if a person really is having issues with things, it's something they may want to consider doing. Jen O'Sullivan does offer it. It's all done on the computer, not on a piece of paper like this, and you have to log in and you do pay for it, but it's very detailed.
And I think on the other side of the paper where I have the instructions, it tells you if you felt like doing it. It's called mywellnessmap.com. Did you want me to show those 2 recipes?
Yeah, I do. In just a second though, Mary's got
Okay.
Yeah, I do want to show those recipes.
Gonna ask about that.
What's the difference in the primary supplements and the secondary? Are they just lesser, or
Yeah, she was just,
why are they listed separate?
because she wanted to give, like on your skin, she wanted to give the ones that have more of the actual ingredients that are really, really good for the skin. But yet there are other supplements that, maybe the ones that she has listed under the skin have, under facial wrinkles, those have more of the vitamin A and E in bigger percentage. Maybe it's 50 to 75% of them, of your vitamins are there. Whereas the secondary still has that skin supporting for wrinkles, but just not as high of a quantity. Maybe the vitamin A in it is only 25% of that supplement. So
Okay.
she wanted to show, and I think that was a good idea to do that, because maybe you are dealing with more cholesterol and heart issues. And so you take the olive essential, but it lets you know, by the way, even though you're taking it for your cholesterol or your heart, it's also going to have a small percentage in it to help with facial wrinkles. You see what I'm saying? I think it really helps teach us to get out of this mode of only thinking of Super B as being energy, or only thinking of olive essentials for being heart, when it also helps with skin. Does that make sense?
Okay. Mhm. Thank you.
Okay, so if you noticed in the questions Donna sent you in that paper with all the questions, number 2, below the word yes, it says, consider the mineral magic drink. So did any of you wonder what in the world is the mineral magic drink? This is the mineral magic drink. And Donna's going to share her screen and actually show
I'm
you.
gonna share my screen as soon as I can see which one I'm looking at. Okay, I think this one. We're gonna see if I can do it. I'm not so good with the screen sharing. Yes?
There we go. I see it. Do you girls see it?
Yes.
Okay. Mineral magic drink. So my glass is actually more like a 16 ounce, but 12-ounce glass, and you put it about half full with crushed ice. That's the first thing you do. You want to, if at all possible, use crushed ice. Then you get your mineral essence, which is that tall bottle there in the screen, the amber bottle, and get a dropper and put the dropper over top the ice. It sort of absorbs into that ice. And so as the ice melts in your drink, you slowly get those benefits without getting it all at once. And that's important, because if any of you all remember, me and Donna tell you, mineral essence is, oh, you can't drink it. It's just so, you'd never want to drink it on its own. It's just awful. But let me tell you, in this drink, it's not. It's not. It's so important for us. It gives us the minerals that we're lacking in food. It also gives us a lot of magnesium, which we also need for sleep and just overall health and wellness. So by taking it this way, so you put the dropper in, then you add a squirt, and the one she shows is the Young Living Vitality Drops, the Jade Lemon flavor. That's the one she mentions. But they also make the spearmint tangerine. I've tried both. My favorite is the spearmint tangerine. The point is, use one of them. Okay, use one of them. And then add 3 drops of Tangerine Vitality. And again, I play around with that a little. Tangerine Vitality is my favorite in this drink. But if I didn't have Tangerine Vitality, I would not hesitate to do 3 drops of orange, 3 drops of grapefruit vitality, 3 drops of lemon, but one of the citrus vitalities. Then put your water in, 12 ounces. You're going to end up with about 12 ounces of water, maybe not quite because of the ice, but you're going to have about 10 ounces of water. Stir it and drink it. And as you'll see there, it says you can drink this up to 5 times a day. And I'm drinking mine much later than she said. We'll see if this affects me tonight. But I wanted to wait for my second one till I was on here with you all. Let me tell you, girls, it tastes good. You can ask Donna. I've been telling her and Claudia all week, I have been enjoying this drink. I was floored, because normally I tried to hide my mineral essence in with my sulfurzyme and my Ningxia Red. I put everything in it to try to hide the flavor of that mineral essence. But I get why she calls this mineral magic. And this didn't even come from her. She even put there in the picture. I can't read the words really clear, but I think it says Patricia something. Another member told her, try this. It's a great way to increase your water and get your mineral essence. And it tastes like I don't know, this is jade lemon in this one. And so it's like a fancy lemonade.
And just remember, it also has royal jelly. So you have, if you're allergic to anything with bees, anything like that.
Yeah, royal jelly. That's in the mineral essence. Yes. Anyway, I'll be curious.
Let me see if I can figure out how to do the next one.
Okay. Are you doing the red drink?
I'm trying.
Yeah. That,
There we go.
did it come up yet?
It should be.
No.
Oh, it didn't on our end. So you may have to go out. And
Oh, go out. Let me exit out and try it again.
So
So this gives you a lot of energy?
the mineral magic.
Is this before the 3 o'clock PM is so that you're going all day and then by 3 o'clock you should be good?
Yeah, and that very well could be. It could be that they don't want you to have too much energy at night. I'll be interested to see if that happens to me tonight, Isabel, if I'm up all night. My
Yeah.
says that shouldn't be that way because of the magnesium. However, it is true that the vitality drop is an energy. So I may regret having taken this tonight, but it still didn't.
So is it up there yet?
Oh,
So it's got the other one still. I think you literally have to stop.
Let me stop sharing. All right, stop sharing.
okay.
Let me see if I can share again. Let me X this out. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
It's exit now.
All right, let me screen share again. And here it is.
The red drink is one of them that
Yes, yes.
mentions that if you answered yes to facial wrinkles, gut health, hair health, joint health, any of those four, then this is a drink you may want to consider. This mixes your Ningxia Red, 1 to 2 ounces of Ningxia Red, like I mentioned earlier, with a half a teaspoon of sulfurzyme powder. Sulfurzyme, as we went over earlier, is so good for joint health, for hair, skin, nails. It's just unlimited. And then a couple of drops of lime vitality. That is the one, this was a doctor is the one that came up with this because of his research, and he is a cancer survivor, and he deals a lot in protecting your liver, okay, and helping your liver. And so he's the one that spent a lot of time studying and came up with this. So lime vitality is the recommendation because of the limonene in it and how good it is. However, again, if I don't have lime vitality, I don't hesitate to try another citrus because your citrus vitalities have such a high level of D-limonene in it. Okay, so that's all it is. 1 to 2 ounces of Ningxia Red with a half a teaspoon of sulfurzyme and 1 to 2 drops of lime vitality, and then at least 16 ounces of water. I think for a lot of us, I think Donna would agree, most of us probably end up with 20 or more because our cups are bigger. And it's a good drink too. It's a drink I enjoy. So it's definitely one to consider.
What's alkaline water?
A lot of them say that. I don't have alkaline water. That's a very, very filtration system that I can't even tell you.
Yeah, you have to get it. You have to get a filter system that alkalizes your water. And so don't worry about that. Just,
Okay.
you know,
Okay.
I just get my water. I have filtered water on my tap. That's what I use. I'm not buying an alkaline system.
Me too.
Okay.
Mine is filtered, but and I'm sure it is more alkaline than just using tap water, but it's not as much as they say. And I see that on some of them. They'll tell you it's preferred that you have that. Actually, it even says in there, filtered water, preferably alkaline, when you read the instructions down in the actual.
Have you tried this one?
Oh, yes. Donna takes this drink every day.
Every single day. I don't miss a day. It is so good. and it just is delicious to me.
Yeah.
But personally, I'm not a big lime fan. I'm going to try it. I think I'm going to try it for a week with lime just to see if it helps with my lime with the liver. But I use tangerine.
Why
I
does
love
it say only take it for 30 days? Why does it say take it for 30 days and you say you take it every day?
Well, when you watch Dr. Minky, who came up with this, his recommendation is always, and a lot of them are, to try it for at least, it wasn't saying that you had to stop at the end
Oh,
of
okay.
days. It's just recommended. And that's true of anything you all try. Don't try something for just a few days and think, oh, it's not working. Because it takes a long
Okay.
time for your body. Your liver reprocesses itself every so many 100 days or whatever, however many days it is. So that's why it's not saying you can't keep taking it. But
Sorry. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, because sulfurzyme is good to have every day in your body because we don't get sulfur. We don't get enough from our fruits and our food anymore. So our bodies need it. It has MSM in it. So you need that in your body every day. And so for me, it's important. And I know that my hair is so much better than it was, so much. And I know it's because of the sulfurzyme.
yeah. This is one that I do take every day, but I add more to it. Whereas I think Donna a lot of times takes it just basically like in that recipe. Whereas I add some of my other supplements to it. Like my Mind Wise, it's a liquid, so I'll put it in there. Or my Amino Wise, which is very good for your muscle and muscle recovery, I'll add it in there. So yeah. But I know that's what's helped my hair. I mean, I know I got it cut recently, but as you all know, my hair just exploded the last 2 years in growth, and it already needs cut again from 5 weeks ago. And it's that sulfurzyme. There's no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Sulfurzyme. Okay, girls, anything else? Okay, well, good. That was really good. I hope you enjoyed that. I plan on doing this again in a couple of months because I think it is interesting to see if we change up any of our questions. Something to consider, though. I know when I went over this just then, I just concentrated on the primary, okay? But for those of you all that got that list from Donna, like someone mentioned, why is the secondary there? I recommend to go back, and if you answered yes to that question, do like, bye, Delene, glad you could join us. Do like I did, and if I answered yes to a question, I went ahead and checked the box on the supplementary, on the secondary as well. And once I did that, mine changed up a little. I went from Super B needed the most to Ningxia Red and Super Vitamin D, with Super B being right behind it. So it's interesting if you go ahead and add the secondary. You don't have to, but it's interesting to see how your results come out. And for some of us, you may already have these supplements. It will just emphasize to you, I got to get with it and start taking that supplement. Okay. And for a lot of us, Ningxia Red is on most of ours, even if it's not the number one, it's on quite a few. So hopefully you learned something from that. We have to make sure Mary, Hess, and who is the other?
I have my notes. Mary, Delene, and Diane needs another one.
Okay.
Oh, no, I did all right. I figured out how to fix it.
Okay. Good. So yeah, next week we will be whatever comes out. Sunday is the first of the month, so all of the new products and whatever announcements they have, that's what we'll cover next Friday in that class. And if there's anything you all want to cover, please don't hesitate to put a little birdie in mine or Donna's ear. We're always open to suggestions. We're always trying to think, what would you all like to learn about? If you just want to concentrate on a couple of supplements, we can get into more detail or whatever. But just let us know. And I can't think of any other announcements. Can you?
The other thing I was thinking of is June is Young Living's they call it the Grand Convention. And so there's going to be new stuff coming out. I'm doing it virtually. I think Kim's doing it virtually. I don't know if anybody else is going to be doing it with us virtually. And we will be getting new products. They have a lot of things that they won't tell us anything, but it seems exciting. And then in August, we think we think we're going to have a special event in Tampa for our team. We are part of Claudia Bleach's team in Dade City. And so corporate Young Living has been in touch with her, and they would like to have something for all of us.
Yeah.
So
Pretty
we, as we know more, I'll let you guys know in case anybody can make it to that event, because it's nice that they're going to come to Florida for us.
And whenever they do something like that, I mean, it's always nice anyway. Plus, it's nice for us to be able to get together in person if possible, which is not always possible because I know we're everywhere from Michigan to New Hampshire to Montana to Indiana to Florida. But they also, whenever corporate comes, they bring goodies, and they throw goodies into the audience, or if it's not throwable, you know, there are ways they throw things in the audience if you catch it, then hey, you get something. So that's always fun. I mean, I'm not just talking little things. Sometimes it's big things.
Books, and so we'll keep you updated to see what exactly is going to happen. That was the news today, so we're pretty excited.
Yeah, we're
You
excited.
said August?
Nice.
Yeah, what they're going to do is they're going to have like 3 days, so we know that we're going to have it. It's going to be basically it's going to be a Saturday.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to have it on a weekend if we can. That is not part of our convention.
Oh, yeah.
Weekends. That's what we already talked about that. So
And that's nice that they're sort of leaving it up to us, because that gives us the leeway to hopefully schedule it fits our. So
Thank you so much. I have to go, but thank you
Okay.
so much. It was very,
Thank you.
very interesting.
everyone, good to see everyone, and we'll see you next week.